My brothers and sisters, today I want to remind myself and all of you about a very important lesson. Focus only on yourself and stay silent. Too often, we waste our precious time looking at what others are doing. We talk about them, we judge them, we criticize them. But the truth is, every single second we spend doing that, we are taking away from our own growth. We are moving further from our own success, our own peace, and our own connection with our Creator. Ask yourself, when you point fingers at others, what do you gain? When you speak unnecessarily about others, what do you achieve? The wise person focuses on their own weaknesses, their own faults, and works hard to correct them. This is where true strength lies. And let's talk about silence. Silence is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom. Many times, silence saves you from arguments, from sin, from regret. A word spoken can never be taken back. But silence protects you. It shields your dignity. It allows your heart to remain calm. My brothers and sisters, when you focus on yourself, you will find that your life becomes so much easier. You will have less stress, less jealousy, less hatred, and more love, more improvement, more success. So remember, mind your own deeds. Mind your own character. Leave the rest to the Almighty. He knows what is in the hearts of people. He knows what we do not know. Focus on yourself and stay silent. That is the path to peace. When a person spends their time and energy looking at the faults of others, they lose sight of their own weaknesses. It is easy to fall into the habit of watching what everyone else is doing, finding their mistakes, and speaking about their shortcomings. But what do we really achieve through this? The time we waste discussing other people's faults could have been spent working on ourselves, fixing our own character, and becoming better in the sight of the Almighty. Each of us has our own struggles. Each of us has flaws that need attention. Yet, when we become busy looking at what others are doing wrong, we neglect our duty to our own soul. We forget that we are responsible for our own actions, our own intentions, and our own journey in this life. No one on this earth is perfect. We all make mistakes. But the wise person is the one who looks in the mirror before looking out the window. When we focus on ourselves, we begin to see where we can improve. We notice our bad habits. We realize our shortcomings. And when we work on them, slowly, we become better people. But if we are always concerned with others, who is failing, who is sinning, who is falling short, we miss that chance to grow. Instead of becoming better, we allow arrogance to fill our hearts. We start to think we are better than others because we see their faults so clearly, but forget our own. This attitude can be dangerous. It leads to pride. It leads to looking down on others. And that is not the way of those who are humble before their Creator. Moreover, focusing on others' faults creates negativity inside us. We may feel anger, jealousy, or hatred toward people who have done nothing to harm us. Our hearts become filled with bad feelings because we are always watching and judging. This negativity takes away our peace. It keeps us busy with things that do not concern us. And in the end, it harms no one but ourselves. The people we criticize will continue with their lives. But we will remain stuck, unable to move forward because we chose to waste our time and energy on matters that bring no benefit. On the other hand, when we focus on ourselves, we free our hearts. We find peace in working on our own faults. We find joy in improving our character, our manners, and our connection with the Almighty. We stop worrying about what others are doing because we are too busy trying to become better people. And this effort does not go unnoticed. The Almighty sees every small step we take to improve. He rewards us for our sincerity. He helps us in our journey. He opens doors for us that we never imagined. All because we chose to look within rather than look at others. It is also important to remember that when we focus on others' faults, we might be wrong in our judgments. We do not know what is inside a person's heart. We do not know their struggles, their intentions, or their reasons for doing what they do. The Almighty alone knows what is hidden. When we speak about others or think badly of them without knowing the full truth, we risk sinning. We risk harming our own soul. And for what? For a false sense of superiority, for a few moments of feeling better about ourselves. It is not worth it. The price is too high. Imagine if every time you noticed something wrong in someone else, you turned that thought into a reminder to check yourself. Imagine how much you would grow. Imagine how much stronger your character would become. This is the path of the wise. They use every opportunity to reflect, to learn, and to become better. They do not waste time pointing fingers at others. They understand that the only person they can truly change is themselves. And so, they dedicate their energy to that. In the end, focusing on others' faults brings no benefit to you. It distracts you from your true purpose. It keeps you from becoming the best version of yourself. But focusing on your own faults, staying silent, and working quietly to improve, this is where true success lies. This is where peace begins. And this is what will bring you closer to your Creator. So, leave what does not concern you and focus on what matters: your own heart, your own deeds, and your own journey. Silence is one of the most powerful tools a person can use in life. It may seem simple, but the impact it has on a person's heart, mind, and soul is beyond measure. When you choose to remain silent, especially in moments of anger, frustration, or temptation, you protect yourself in ways you may not immediately realize. Words are easy to speak, but once they are spoken, they can never be taken back. A single sentence, said in the heat of the moment, can destroy relationships that took years to build. It can cause pain that lasts a lifetime. It can lead to regret so deep that no apology can erase it. That is why the wise are those who understand when to speak and when to remain silent. There are times in life when emotions rise. Someone may insult you, someone may wrong you, someone may spread falsehoods about you. In those moments, it is so tempting to respond. The heart wants to defend itself. The tongue wants to lash out. The mind begins to think of what sharp words to use, how to humiliate the other person, how to make them feel what you are feeling. But if you pause, if you take a breath and choose silence, you will find that you have saved yourself from great harm. The person who chooses silence in a moment of anger saves themselves from uttering words they will regret. They save themselves from sinning by responding with abuse, by lying, by backbiting, or by spreading even more harm. Silence is a shield. It guards your dignity. It guards your heart from becoming hard. It guards your soul from falling into sin. The one who stays silent keeps their heart soft and their mind clear. They give themselves time to think, to reflect, to respond with wisdom instead of haste. How often have people destroyed their own peace because they spoke without thinking? How often have people wished they could turn back time and erase the words they let slip from their tongue? But the silent person, the one who holds back, is saved from that regret. They are protected from the consequences that words can bring. Another beauty of silence is that it gives you strength. It teaches you patience. It helps you build inner peace. When you remain silent, you are not weak. In fact, it takes more strength to stay silent in a moment of anger than it does to speak. Anyone can speak. Anyone can argue. Anyone can shout. But it takes real strength to control your tongue, to control your emotions, and to choose silence. That strength brings calm. It brings clarity. It allows you to see the situation for what it really is and to decide the best course of action without rushing into mistakes. Silence also stops the spread of harm. When you refuse to speak badly about others, when you stay silent instead of sharing gossip or lies, you cut off the chain of sin that could have continued through your words. You protect not only yourself, but also others from harm. You stop adding fuel to the fire. You choose peace over chaos. You choose goodness over harm. And for that, you are rewarded by your Creator, who knows the struggle it took for you to remain silent when it would have been so easy to speak. When you stay silent, you also train your heart to rely on the Almighty. You remind yourself that not everything needs a response. Not everything needs to be said. The Almighty knows the truth. He knows what is in your heart. He knows what others are doing, and He is the best judge. When you choose silence, you are saying with your actions that you trust His plan. You are saying that you do not need to lower yourself or harm yourself just to prove a point. You are leaving the matter in the hands of the One who sees all and knows all. Finally, silence gives you time to choose the right words. If you must speak, let it be words of kindness, of wisdom, of truth. Let your words bring benefit, not harm. Let your speech be something that you will not regret on the day when all our words will be weighed. Silence helps you to achieve this. It gives you the space to think, to reflect, and to make sure that when you do speak, you are speaking in a way that pleases your Creator and benefits those around you. So silence is not just the absence of words. It is a powerful, active choice that protects you from sin, from harm, from regret, and from unnecessary hardship. It is a sign of wisdom, of strength, and of true understanding. Those who master the art of silence protect their hearts and their souls, and they walk a path of peace and success in this life and the next. Your energy should go into self-development, not judging others. The reason is simple. Every moment you spend thinking about the faults of others is a moment lost that could have been used to build yourself, to improve your character, and to become a better human being. Many people waste so much time looking at the mistakes and weaknesses of those around them. They are quick to point out what someone else is doing wrong, to speak about it, to criticize, and to share it with others. But they do not realize that while they are busy watching and judging, their own faults remain untouched. Their own hearts are gathering dust. Their own souls are in need of attention, but they are too distracted by the lives of others to see it. When you focus on yourself, you begin to notice things that you may have been blind to before. You see your own bad habits. You notice your own shortcomings. You recognize where you have gone wrong and where you need to improve. This kind of self-awareness is a gift. It is a door that leads to growth, to wisdom, and to true success. But this door remains closed if you are always looking outward instead of inward. If you are always judging others, you miss the opportunity to judge yourself in a healthy and constructive way. You miss the chance to ask, how can I be better? How can I change? How can I fix what is broken within me? Judging others can fill a person with pride. It can lead to arrogance. When you are busy finding fault in others, you may start to feel that you are better than them. You may start to believe that you are superior because you think you have seen their weaknesses. But the truth is, this is a trick of the ego. It blinds you to your own faults. It makes you focus on the small mistakes of others while you ignore the major flaws within yourself. The wise person is the one who humbles themselves, the one who looks at their own soul first and says, what can I fix within myself before I speak about anyone else? There is also the danger of misjudging others. You might see someone making a mistake, or you might think they are doing wrong, but you do not know their heart. You do not know their struggle. You do not know what they are going through. The Almighty alone knows what is hidden. When you judge others without knowing the full picture, you risk falling into sin. You risk thinking badly of someone who might be better than you in the sight of the Almighty. You risk harming your own heart by filling it with suspicion, negativity, and false assumptions. This is why it is wiser to focus on your own self, on your own journey, on your own improvement. The energy you use to judge others could be used in so many better ways. It could be used to learn something new. It could be used to develop your character, to work on your patience, your kindness, your generosity. It could be used to build your relationship with the Almighty. It could be used to help someone in need. There are so many good things you could achieve if you simply turned that judging gaze inward. If you made yourself your own project, if you decided that your goal is to become the best version of yourself, that is where true strength lies. That is where true peace is found. When you focus on yourself, you also inspire others without even realizing it. People see your efforts. They see you working on your character. They see you trying to be kind, to be humble, to be better. And that encourages them to do the same. But when you judge others, you push them away. You make them feel small. You make them feel as though they are always being watched, always being criticized. That does not help anyone. That does not change hearts. But self-development, that can change your heart, and it can touch the hearts of those around you. At the end of the day, you will not be asked about the mistakes of others. You will not be held responsible for their faults. But you will be asked about your own deeds, your own words, your own choices. So why waste your energy judging others, when that energy could be spent preparing yourself for the moment when you stand before your Creator? Focus on what matters. Focus on your own growth. Focus on becoming the best you can be. And leave the judging to the one who knows all. That is the way to success. That is the way to peace in this life and the next. Speaking about others without need can harm your own heart and character in ways that you may not realize at first. It might feel easy or even satisfying to talk about someone else's mistakes or weaknesses, to share their faults, or to spread stories about what they did or did not do. But this act leaves behind a stain on your heart, a burden that slowly changes the way you see the world and the way you see yourself. Every time you speak about someone without a valid reason, you are chipping away at your own goodness, your own purity, and your own sense of peace. The harm begins quietly. It starts with small things, simple words that seem harmless, a comment here, a story there. But over time, those small words can turn into habits. And those habits can become part of your character. You become someone who finds comfort in mentioning others' faults. Someone who is always looking for what is wrong in people instead of what is right. This way of speaking affects how your heart functions. When you are busy talking about others, your heart starts to become hard. Instead of focusing on kindness, mercy, and forgiveness, your heart becomes filled with negativity, suspicion, and bitterness. You may start to enjoy hearing bad things about people. You may find yourself always eager to share bad news or to spread what you heard, even if it is not true. And this is dangerous, because once your heart is filled with these thoughts and feelings, it becomes very difficult to purify it again. The heart is like a mirror. When you speak well of others, when you guard your tongue, that mirror stays clean and clear. But when you speak about others without need, that mirror becomes stained and dirty. It stops reflecting goodness, and it starts reflecting the very darkness that you have allowed into it. Another harm that comes from speaking about others without need is that it invites more sins into your life. When you talk about people unnecessarily, it opens the door to backbiting, slander, lying, and spreading falsehood. Even if what you say is true, If there is no benefit in sharing it, it counts against you rather than for you. It adds weight to the scale of your bad deeds. And worse still, it creates divisions between you and others. People begin to lose trust in you. They begin to fear that if they share something with you, you will tell others. Friendships are broken. Families are harmed. Communities are weakened. All because of words that did not need to be spoken. Speaking about others without need also harms your character in a subtle but serious way. It teaches you to look down on people. When you are always talking about what others have done wrong, you begin to see yourself as better than them. This creates arrogance. It makes you feel that you are above those you speak about. But in reality, this attitude lowers you in the sight of the Almighty. The one who truly has good character is the one who protects the honor of others, who guards their tongue, and who focuses on their own faults rather than those of others. The person who constantly speaks about others shows that they are not concerned with improving themselves. They are too busy pointing out the mistakes of everyone else to see what needs to change within their own soul. What you say about others also has an impact on your own peace of mind. The person who always talks about others' lives in a state of unrest. Their heart is never calm because it is filled with concern about the business of others. They are always watching, always listening, always searching for what to say next. They carry the weight of what they have said, and that weight becomes heavier over time. But the one who guards their tongue, who speaks only when necessary, lives in peace. Their heart is light. Their mind is free. They have no regrets about what they have said because they have chosen their words carefully and with purpose. In the end, every word you speak is recorded. Every word will be brought before you on the day of judgment. When you speak about others without need, you are writing down for yourself deeds that will harm you. You are planting seeds that will grow into regret. But when you stay silent, when you protect the honor of others, when you choose words that benefit and not words that harm, you are building a character that is strong, pure, and pleasing to your Creator. So be mindful of what you say. Know that unnecessary words about others do not just harm them. They harm you even more. They damage your heart, they weaken your character, and they take away from the goodness you are trying to build. Staying silent in arguments preserves your dignity and brings inner peace in ways that many people overlook. When tempers flare and voices rise, the natural urge is to speak back, to defend oneself, to try to win the argument. But often in doing so, a person loses something much more valuable than the argument itself. They lose their calm, their self-respect, and their peace of mind. Silence, on the other hand, allows you to keep hold of what truly matters. It gives you the power to walk away from the situation with your head held high, knowing that you did not lower yourself to harsh words or hurtful speech. Arguments have a way of pulling people down. They tempt you to say things you do not mean, to insult, to accuse, to attack. And once those words leave your tongue, you cannot take them back. They linger in the hearts of others, and they haunt your own heart as well. But the person who chooses silence, who resists the urge to retaliate, who steps back instead of stepping forward into the fight, protects themselves from all of this. There is great strength in remaining silent when you are being provoked. It takes much more courage and self-control to stay quiet than it does to argue. Anyone can raise their voice, anyone can shout, anyone can throw angry words at the other person, but to hold back, to breathe deeply, to walk away or remain silent while your heart is burning inside, this shows true dignity. It shows that you value yourself too much to waste your words on matters that will not benefit you. It shows that you are wise enough to know that most arguments bring no good. They only create distance between hearts, cause pain, and leave behind regret. Silence in an argument is not a sign that you are weak or that you have no reply. It is a sign that you have chosen peace over pride. It means you have chosen to let go of the need to win at the cost of harming yourself or others. It means you understand that not every battle is worth fighting. Some arguments are best left unanswered because engaging in them would only bring more harm. The silent person understands that their dignity is far more important than proving a point. Their silence speaks louder than words ever could. It tells the other person that they will not be dragged into negativity, that they will not add fuel to the fire. It is a powerful statement made without a single word. What's more, staying silent gives you time to think clearly. When you are silent, you give yourself space to reflect. You are not reacting in the heat of the moment. You are not being driven by anger or frustration. You are allowing your mind to calm down, so that if you do choose to speak later, your words will be wise and measured, not harsh and rushed. This protects you from saying things you will later wish you hadn't. It saves you from apologies that may not fully heal the wounds caused by thoughtless words. Silence allows you to maintain your inner balance, your self-control, and your respect for yourself and others. The peace that comes from staying silent in an argument is deep and lasting. After the argument ends, the person who chose silence has no heavy burden on their heart. They have no guilt, no regret over what they said. They sleep peacefully because they know they did not harm anyone with their tongue. They did not contribute to the bitterness or the anger of the situation. Instead, they kept their soul clean and their conscience clear. This peace is a reward in itself. It is a sign that you have risen above the moment, that you have chosen the higher path. It frees you from the endless cycle of argument and retaliation that can trap so many people and rob them of their happiness. Silence also invites blessings. When you stay silent in an argument, you place your trust in the Almighty. You are saying with your actions that you do not need to defend yourself with loud words or harsh speech. You trust that the truth will become clear without your need to argue. You trust that dignity comes not from winning arguments, but from holding yourself to a higher standard. And the Almighty never lets that trust go unrewarded. He brings peace to the heart of the one who chooses silence. He protects their honor even when others try to harm it. And He lifts them up because they chose patience over pride, calm over chaos. In this way, staying silent in arguments not only preserves your dignity, but also brings you a kind of inner peace that no argument could ever give you. It keeps your heart light, your conscience clear, and your soul free from the harm that angry words can cause. It shows strength, wisdom, and trust in what truly matters. And in the end, that is worth far more than any argument won. True success lies in correcting your own faults, not pointing out the faults of others. Many people spend their lives looking outward, noticing what others are doing wrong, criticizing, judging, and highlighting the mistakes of those around them. But this does not bring them any closer to real success. It does not make them better people, nor does it improve their standing in the sight of their Creator. What truly matters is the work you do on yourself, the effort you make to clean your heart, to purify your soul, and to improve your character. Every person has faults. Every person makes mistakes. This is part of being human. But the wise person understands that the journey of life is about looking inward, about seeing where you fall short, and striving each day to become better than you were yesterday. When you focus on correcting your own faults, you are engaged in a task that benefits you both in this world and the next. It is easy to see the flaws in other people. It is easy to speak about what someone else should or should not be doing. But what does that achieve? Does it make you a better person? Does it bring you closer to your goals? Does it earn you the pleasure of your Creator? The answer is no. In fact, pointing out the faults of others often feeds the ego. It creates a false sense of superiority. It makes you feel as though you are above those you criticize. But the reality is that focusing on others' mistakes distracts you from the important work you need to do on your own soul. It prevents you from seeing your own weaknesses because you are too busy seeing the weaknesses of others. Correcting your own faults is a sign of humility. It shows that you recognize your own need for growth, your own need for mercy, and your own need for guidance. It means you are honest with yourself. You are willing to face the uncomfortable truths about your own behavior and work to change them. This is not easy. It takes courage to admit that you have faults. It takes strength to try to change them. But this is where true success begins. It is not in proving to others that you are right or that you are better. It is in proving to yourself that you are trying your best to improve, that you are sincere in your efforts, and that you are willing to put in the hard work to become a better person. When you dedicate your energy to correcting your own faults, you gain peace of mind. You stop worrying about what others are doing. You stop wasting time comparing yourself to people around you. Instead, you are focused on your own journey, your own progress. You begin to see how much there is to improve within yourself. And this keeps you busy in a way that brings benefit. Your heart becomes softer. You become more forgiving of others because you realize how much you need forgiveness yourself. You become less harsh in your judgments because you understand how difficult it is to overcome your own struggles. This attitude builds character. It builds inner strength, and it brings you closer to true success. True success is not about having a perfect image in front of people. It is not about making sure others see you as better or more righteous than them. It is about being genuine in your efforts to please your Creator. It is about recognizing your flaws and doing the work to correct them, even if no one else sees it. This is sincerity. This is honesty. And this is what earns true success. On the day of judgment, you will not be asked about the faults of others. You will not be questioned about what others did wrong. You will be asked about yourself, your actions, your words, your intentions, and your efforts to improve. So why waste time pointing out what is wrong in others when that time could be used to work on what is wrong within yourself? The person who focuses on correcting their own faults earns respect, not only from others, but also within their own heart. They feel the satisfaction of knowing that they are trying, that they are growing, and that they are moving forward. They feel peace because they are not burdened with the negativity that comes from constant criticism of others. Instead, they are filled with hope and determination to keep improving. This is the path to success, not in the eyes of people, but in the eyes of the Almighty. And that is the success that truly matters, the success that will bring you lasting peace and happiness, both in this life and in the life to come.